Member for Fredericton York.
Mr. Speaker, I don't want to kill the Premier's buzz on his funding announcement for OrganiGram in Moncton, a company owned by a documented financial supporter of the New Brunswick Liberal Party, by the way. But I do have a question or two on marijuana-related funding. This company has the much-coveted license for a medical marijuana growing operation, a virtual monopoly position. Can the Premier tell this House if it is his opinion that without taxpayer money that the OrganiGram project would not have created jobs that the Premier scored yesterday?
The Honourable the Premier.
Monsieur le Président, je pense.
Mr. Speaker, I believe that OrganiGram has a lot of potential. It's one of the companies that had one of the 30 licenses across the country for medicinal marijuana that has been delivered. As the opposition knows, we must compete with other jurisdictions when we want job growth and business growth, and we must offer incentives, but we must do it in a way that we protect taxpayers' money.
To ensure that we're protecting taxpayers' money, but also giving an incentives for businesses to invest here in New Brunswick was often used by the opposition when they were in government, Mr. Speaker, so a bit odd that they would then criticize the same mechanism that they used to use. We're happy that the 113 jobs are going to be here in New Brunswick, in Moncton, and 113 New Brunswickers are going to be able to work right here at home, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Fredericton York.
Is that the real number? Because the numbers changed a lot with the Sussex announcement from 100 down to 89 down to 39. But, Mr. Speaker, I'm not suggesting that the taxpayers' money is in the same sort of risk category as it was with ATCON, where we wound up with nothing, not even stems or seeds. I'm just trying to get the straight dope on whether the Premier truly believes that his funding was absolutely necessary for OrganiGram to create the jobs he so proudly announced yesterday. My question again is this: does the Premier honestly believe that they would not have created these medical marijuana jobs without taxpayer funding?
The Honourable the Premier.
Monsieur le Président, comme j'ai déjà mentionné.
Mr. Speaker, like I already mentioned, it is important to give incentives to companies to invest here in the province. Once again, the opposition did the same thing when they were in government. They use the same kind of mechanisms that we are using now, and we agree it is important to protect taxpayers' money, and the incentive are only given when the jobs are created.
To commend the member opposite for taking the legislature so seriously with his play on words. It's really fun to see this morning, Mr. Speaker. I said to the media that there'd be close to 100 jobs being created in Sussex. We said that there'd be approximately 90, just under 90 jobs, Mr. Speaker, and we started with the first batch of 39. I'm not sure why the member opposite has to play politics with that, but I would ask him to comment then on the wording of Rodney Weston when he committed to the Port of St. John, if he thought that maybe there was somebody there that was trying to lead people into a direction that wasn't actually the case with the federal government. I'd love to hear from the member opposite on that.
Member for Fredericton York.
Mr. Speaker, from co-op to grow-op, I can tell that the Premier is very proud of this provincial announcement for medical marijuana. I wonder why he is not equally proud of his funding for an online magazine promoting recreational marijuana. I speak, of course, of the magazine Civilized, owned by Derek Ridley, who, of course, is well known in Liberal circles here in the province. Didn't the Premier give him over $200,000 to create homegrown jobs at an online pot magazine? Why didn't the Premier have a big announcement for this funding of recreational marijuana? Why all the secrecy, Mr. Speaker?
The Honourable the Premier.
It's funny how he says it's secret, but yet he's aware of it, so obviously it's not secret, Mr. Speaker. It's very transparent. We're obviously funding businesses when we can to support their growth here in New Brunswick, to make sure that there's incentives so they create jobs here when we see that they have a strong business plan to do so, Mr. Speaker. And we're very happy of what's been happening over the last few weeks. 113 jobs with OrganiGram in Moncton, Mr. Speaker. We think that's great. 250 jobs are going to be created by IBM in Florenceville, Fredericton, and St. John, Mr. Speaker. We think that's fantastic. 39 jobs in the Sussex area. And I'm happy to say there's going to be hundreds and hundreds of more jobs coming out in the next few weeks and months as we work tirelessly to sign deals with reputable businesses that want to grow here in New Brunswick. And Mr. Speaker, I have to say that it's not because of us. It really isn't. It's because of the people of New Brunswick, Mr. Speaker, the entrepreneurs, the businesses, the community leaders that create a climate and a story that we get to tell to these businesses where they want to invest in us, where they want to invest in New Brunswick, Mr. Speaker.